Greetings humans, it is I, Lord Bael here, with an album review. Today I'd like to talk about Little Did We Know's 2012 debut full-length Lucid Happenings. This is the first full-length from the band, following up a 4-track demo EP released in late 2011, if I recall. This album was tracked by Zach Denham of Anagnorisis at his studio One by One. The album clocks in with 11 tracks. It's falling somewhere in the vein of tech death, not quite tech, but with techy parts. Very thick, heavy, demolishing, punishing, decimating, destroying, deserving of praise, brutal, death, metal, core, maybe. Some of the highlights of the album would certainly be the vocal performance. His vocal attack ranges from howls and screams and yelps to guttural growls and burps and gargles and all the other death metal archetypes and vocal idioms. The only thing he doesn't venture into, which is a good thing, is he doesn't ever do any sort of clean singing or not harsh vocal attack. He keeps his vocals within the metal, particularly the death metal realm. The guitar playing on the album is a mix of technical shred with some tapping, interspersed with passages of breakdowns. And therein lies one of the problems within the album. Little did we know have the hype behind them that they are a tech death band, when in fact they fall closer to deathcore and brutal death metal than anything. Now don't get me wrong, a lot of the guitar playing on this is stellar, and a lot of the guitar playing is incredibly technical, but just because you're playing technically proficient riffs doesn't necessarily make you a technical death metal band, if that makes any sense. At no time during the album did I ever think, hey, this kind of sounds like Cephalic Carnage. I never found myself thinking, you know, this sounds a lot like Behold the Arctopus. While the album is filled with tapping riffs and shred, the album still follows a part followed by part followed by part mentality, as opposed to where in lots of technical death metal, it's just one long passage. Also, this album is very, and I repeat, very breakdown heavy. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, and in fact, a lot of their breakdowns are some of the best ones that I've heard in the local area. The only way to really describe some of these breakdowns is crushing. However, that doesn't mean that there aren't parts of the recording that could use some more polishing. The drums in general weren't captured in such a way that they really bring out the power behind the hits. They just kind of sit back in the mix, back. The bass also, as is typical within heavy music, gets buried in the mix, which is a real shame. In several parts of the album, they incorporated synthesizers with the help of Zach Denham to help thicken out the sound of the sonic assault. Specifically, in the song Adventure at the Mucus Factory, there's a portion where all the music drops out and William Sullivan's vocals are accompanied by this grinding, mechanized sounding pad synth sound that really just forces the next part into your skull and bashes it in. That's not to say that all the keys are welcome, and in some parts they're a little distracting, maybe a little lackluster. Overall, I think they were a good addition. Maybe they should have been thought slightly more where they're strategically putting them and not overused. Another part within a song that could have been so stellar and interesting from a musical's perspective was in track 3, Magmara Loatia in Tabor City. About halfway through the track, the music comes down, the guitars turn into a clean tone, and the drums start doing just some ambient, cymbal hits, etc., while the guitars start playing a swing clean riff. As the drums come in, specifically the kick drum, it should be swinging the music with the guitars. However, what I hear is the drums were recorded and then hard quantized, and either hard quantized into straight eighths or hard quantized with straight eighths swing the eighth, which in theory should swing, but anybody who plays jazz can tell you you cannot do swing in a digital environment. Swing has to be felt and has to be organic for it to function. And it sounds wrong in this recording. The kick just sounds ever so slightly off from where it needs to be. And it really brings this part, which could be so excellent, back down into relative mediocrity. And the part immediately following that, the guitar should explode into the distortion and into this alternating riff of ba 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 ba. But they don't. They just kind of appear. Here they are. Back into the loud stuff again without having that extra punch. Overall, the production is excellent, but just some of these spots needed to be tweaked before being sent to pressing. Apart from these few minor inconsistencies, the album as a whole is excellent. Specific tracks that I really enjoyed would be Adventure at the Mucus Factory, as stated, It's Just a Circle and You're a Dog, and the album opener, I Am Robot Machine. Overall thoughts on the album, I'd say it's a positive experience. I'd give it a healthy 7.5 out of 10. Certainly recommend checking it out if you're into breakdowns, tapping, shred guitars, some of the most versatile vocal delivery within modern metal music that I have heard. Thank you for watching. I'm Lord Bael, and I'll see you again.